What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the current and future financial climate and where I think things are headed, and more specifically, where I think the best investment opportunity is right now in cryptocurrency and in a coin called XRP. So I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is just purely my opinion, and I want to take you guys on a journey and walk you through kind of logically what I've been thinking and the research that I've seen and done, and just take you step by step into why it makes sense, at least for me, in my opinion, to make an investment into something that is in the cryptocurrency space and more specifically into XRP. So I'm going to take you guys starting off with the current situation that's going on in the United States, and then I'm going to kind of tiptoe you guys through the different scenarios and what's going on and why I think it makes sense. So starting off is here, we're right here on the usdebtclock.org. So this is going to show us a bunch of different numbers, as you can see, but the main important one is the US national debt. So currently we are $26 bajillion in debt. That is a lot of money. And the reason for this partially is because the Federal Reserve, which is not a government entity, took us off the gold standard and continuously raises the debt ceiling, and they kick the can down the road and they bail out companies that they shouldn't bail out, and ultimately print money like it's their job, because it is their job. So guys, when the Federal Reserve bails out companies that are making poor decisions, that is not true capitalism. Capitalism is about having free markets. This is not free markets when you raise the debt ceiling, you control the economy, and then you bail out companies that shouldn't get bailed out. So just keep that in mind. That is the current system that things are running on. And people are like, oh, okay, well, so how are we going to handle the US national debt crisis? Well, there's really no way we can pay this amount of money back. Some things people say is like, you should tax people more. But if you look right here, there's 300 million people in the United States, and there's only 124 million taxpayers, which means they're never going to be able to pay that amount of money back. And also, why should they? Because that's, majority of this is not their fault. They're not the ones, accumulating this amount. Obviously there is personal debt as well, but beyond that, we are going to move forward. So that's the current thing that we're running on is this amount of debt. So this is kind of the backbone to kick things off, if you will. And moving forward real quick, I want to touch on the current system in terms of fiat currency and what we're using. So we're using fiat currency. Obviously, all you guys know that we were taken off of the gold standard. There's no assets that are actually backing the currency, meaning the Federal Reserve, which is controlling it, can print as much as they want, or they can issue credit and do fractional reserve lending, which means they don't actually have to print the money, but they're just lending out numbers on a screen in the form of credit to you. So if you guys want to just quickly take a little thought process with me and think about what a bank essentially is doing when they're issuing credit to you. If I'm a bank, I'll pretend like I'm the bank. If I am sitting here and I have $0 to my name, like I have zero actual cash, and I'm allowed to do fractional reserve lending, meaning I don't actually have to have the cash in order to lend you money. Basically what that means is I can sit there with no money and I can issue you $100,000 in credit, air quotes. And then if you don't pay me back $120,000 or whatever, let's just say the interest rate on it is, let's say you have to pay me back $120,000 just for the sake of the example. If you don't pay me that amount of money back, then I, as the bank, get to come seize your assets, AKA your house, whatever the mortgage, whatever product you took from the bank, the auto loan. I get to come take your actual asset if you don't pay me back the amount that you owe me. But the thing is, I lended you, essentially just numbers on a screen. I didn't actually have anything to start. I just gave you credit. And then you have to pay me back real money, your real wealth, or your assets. So that's kind of just crazy, just a little thing to think about. But anyway, if you take a look at this, Clearly, the value of the dollar has been getting destroyed. This is due to these things. This is due to issuing credit. It's due to printing money. And it's due to a lot of other things. As you can see, there's little historical marks here. But the whole point of this is what I'm trying to say is fiat currency in any form is a form of soft money, meaning the currency gets softer over time. Something that gets harder over time would be something like a Bitcoin, which is the supply gets lessened. So if the supply is increasing over time, then it's getting softer. If the supply is decreasing over time, then it's getting harder. So Bitcoin, currently there's a set amount that is in circulation, and then there's some that are getting mined, and then the power to mine one Bitcoin is going down over time, meaning there's less supply. So dollar bills can be printed, they're soft. Bitcoin, for example, can be mined less and less, which means it's getting harder. So just keep that in mind again as we move forward. This is kind of a step-by-step approach of why fundamentally it makes sense right now to go into the crypto space and where I think it's headed. So if you guys see right here, I'm going to kind of knock off each asset class because there's not a lot of other asset classes that make sense investing in right now. So I just want to show you guys the reasons why. So this is the NASDAQ. This is just a composite of really the United States, or the total stock market. So what we're looking at here is this is a 1-year chart. So guys, this is the coronavirus dip right here. This is when things started to go down, when we're supposed to enter the recession/depression. They have just stimulated the market. All the companies and all the time off is completely wrecked. This is all stimulated right now. So this is all basically just waiting to crash. They're actually, if you guys are still in equities right now, like still invest in the stock market, you have gotten such an amazing opportunity to get out of them. And as you can see, the reason for this, I believe, in my opinion, for Trump, there's never been somebody who's been reelected during recessions. So I'm sure that they tried to do everything they could to stimulate it, bring it back up before election time. So I would get out before the election, in my opinion. But again, completely just my opinion. But as you guys can see here, Warren Buffett is buying gold. He's notoriously talked about gold in kind of a negative light. He's buying Barrick Gold, so he's buying the companies that actually mine for gold. So just when you see Warren Buffett buying gold and you see people like the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, selling all their shares in stocks, probably a good idea to maybe get out while you can, because this whole thing is just really stimulated. So yeah, that's where I'm at in terms of the stock market. So if stocks aren't a great investment right now, then all right, we'll move along to what else might be. So in order to do that, let's just talk real quick about what are all the asset classes in the world right now circulating. So an asset class is a grouping of investments that exhibit similar characteristics and are subject to the same laws and regulations. Okay, so basically what that means is, things like stocks, fixed income, there's bonds, there's cash and cash equivalent, there's real estates, commodities, different things like that. Those are all considered asset classes. So I'm going to show you guys this list. Here's a list of the main asset classes that currently exist in the world. And we'll see shares. This is stocks. You can think of bonds, property. This is real estate. Commodities, these are things like precious metals, oil and gas, and then there's cash. So cash is actually considered an asset class. And what you don't see here on this list is cryptocurrency, which is definitely an asset class. And that's something really interesting to take note of because, guys, asset classes do not get invented and do not just come about that often. So as you can see, there's not that many. Obviously, these break down into a bunch of different sub asset classes and whatnot, but there's really not that many main asset classes. And something that's really interesting is you're alive right now in a time where there is a brand new asset class invented. So that is super, super rare and actually quite crazy because if you look at the market caps, which we're going to hop into next, you'll see that, some of the market caps in these mainstream asset classes are ridiculously high. So let's move forward into the next article. So brings me to the point of cryptocurrency, which is becoming basically a new asset class. And so what is cryptocurrency? Really, here's just like a page of decentralized currencies. So it says decentralized currencies are immune to inflation or deflation. Basically, the point of these cryptocurrencies is to help really make things decentralized and not have to rely on fiat currencies, not have to rely on things like the Federal Reserve. It kind of insulates people from bank failures, so on and so forth. So that is important because this is really the opposite of quote unquote cash, the asset class. And as we will see here, I just quickly looked up what is the total market cap, meaning the total amount of money in the US stock market. So $35 trillion is currently the market cap in the United States stock market. So if we move forward again, we're going to move into the crypto space. So currently the market cap is around $300 billion. So 35 trillion is a mainstream asset class, which is US equities. So that's just buying stocks like we were just talking about. And that's 35 trillion. That is so much more money than 300 billion. So as cryptocurrency becomes one of the more mainstream and widely adopted asset classes, we will see the market capitalization increase, which is going to then increase the price of said coins down below. So a lot of people think just, obviously all these coins have different use cases, and we're going to hop into that here in a second, and why I think, why I have my certain opinions on specifically these top 3 or 4 is what we're going to be talking about. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP really are what we're going to jump into. But I just wanted to quickly note the market cap scenario because this is all driving down the path of why cryptocurrency is the best place to be investing right now, along with, in my opinion, gold and potentially silver. So really beyond the stock market, which we just covered, why that was not a great idea to be invested in right now. The other options are real estate. And I think you could still make money in real estate, not particularly commercial real estate with COVID going on, but more specifically, if you're flipping or you really know what you're doing, I think it's possible to make money in real estate. I don't know a whole lot about that space, so I'm not going to talk on it too much. However, if you are investing, I wouldn't invest in bonds. You see how much debt we have as a nation. So, and that's not going to return you that much money. So no to stocks, no to bonds, no really to real estate, unless you really know what you're doing and you're, flipping or whatever. And then where's the other options? Like, what are you going to invest in? Like, personally, I would say your own business, or invest back into yourself in the form of education or whatever, self-education rather, not so much at an institution, but those are really the options. Or another option that you could do for passive investing or trading would be cryptocurrencies. That is why we are here right now. So moving forward, I'm going to speak about really the main 3. So Bitcoin, what is Bitcoin? Obviously, you guys can read what Bitcoin is and you can look it up. It's decentralized digital cryptocurrency. But the main point that I want to talk about with Bitcoin is, like I said, it is a hard supply. So it is getting harder to get the Bitcoin over time. And as you will see, more and more money is flowing into it over time, for the most part, historically, meaning the price of it goes up. So in my opinion, Bitcoin's a great store of wealth, similar to gold, long term. There's a lot of fundamental reasons behind this. You guys can watch Anthony Pompliano's open letter to Ray Dalio if you guys have questions about Bitcoin and why it is a great store of wealth. So I think of Bitcoin as a store of wealth. I think of Ethereum. Obviously, you guys can also read about Ethereum, but Ethereum is essentially a smart contract platform. and it's kind of like a platform to build decentralized applications on its actual blockchain. So you can think of it as like a platform to build other use cases on top of. So that's obviously a really good, you know, I don't even know how to call it, like a really good use case or a really good platform. So this is a really popular one. Obviously, they're moving towards Ethereum 2.0. And then lastly, we have XRP. And so what XRP is, it's different from Ripple and RippleNet. Ripple is the company that created the coin XRP. And then also, it says right here, XRP is a currency that runs on a digital payment platform called RippleNet. So it runs on RippleNet. It is a coin, and then it's made by a company called Ripple. So this one gets some heat because a lot of people say that they're, not as decentralized because there's a company behind it that is, not only do they own a lot of the XRP coins, but they're working with central banks as well. So what this does is it helps with cross-border payments, and it helps real-time gross settlements. So basically this helps enable instant monetary transactions globally. So this is something that big banks and central banks and really the global economy could use, because currently I think I heard the fastest way to get money from here to like Switzerland or Sweden would be to put the cash on a plane and actually fly it there. So the amount of value in the use case behind XRP is obviously very strong. So what I'm going to say real quick is if we go back, there's currently 7,025 coins. And if we're just being realistic, a lot of these coins are probably, they probably have some use, but in reality, let's just say 99% of them are BS, or 99% of them will fail. So 1% will survive, in my opinion, just like based on purely guessing. So let's just say 1% survive and we have 70 coins left. Okay, those 70 coins will make up the market cap, and then we will want to decide, okay, which one should we invest in out of the 70 coins that are left? Well, we have the top 10 right here just to look at, but I'm going to use XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin just to give you guys an example why this makes sense to invest in. So I'm going to go over here to the whiteboard. So really there's a few things that I would look at in terms of investing in them. One would be utility, meaning can it actually be used? Two would be adoption, meaning widespread adoption from a lot of regular people, as well as banks and really just the world as a whole. So overall adoption. Partnerships. Whoa, that there we go. That's nice. We got partnerships, and then we'll do growth potential. And then lastly, this one's important, we'll do regulation. That one is key as well. So I'm just going to say, like, which out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, which one I think wins in each of these categories, or like which ones, make the most sense in each of these categories. So utility, I would say definitely Ethereum has utility with smart contracts. And then I would say Ripple has, or XRP, the coin, has a bunch of utility as well with cross-border payments and a bunch of other reasons. But I'm just going to say these two. So Ethereum, XRP. And so for adoption, I'm going to say Bitcoin is actually doing the best with adoption. I'm going to say they currently have the best adoption. Partnerships, I'm going to say XRP has the most partnerships that are like extremely valuable. Growth potential, and you know what? Honestly, we could say Ethereum here as well because they have some really good partnerships. But okay. Growth potential, all three of them have a lot of growth potential. However, if you're going to break it down on like actual percentage gains that they could have, in my opinion, Bitcoin and Ethereum have already spiked up quite a bit. So if we're talking about from now moving forward, growth potential, I still think Ethereum and Bitcoin have a lot of growth potential, but overall the most amount I would say would be XRP. because it still has not had its like total breakout. And then lastly, regulation. This one is very, very important because, guys, the people who run the current financial systems, the Federal Reserve, the central banks, everything that we know and we trust and we use are ran by people. And, they're the ones creating the regulations. They're the ones making up the rules of the game that we play. So XRP is the only one, and Ripple as a company is the only one that's actually been trying to play along and work with these people on what the regulations are. And I think as regulations start to get passed, it's going to wipe out a ton of these other altcoins who are not playing into the regulation, not playing into the centralization. And so really, while we all want to probably live in a world where Bitcoin and full decentralization is the way to go, that's why I would say store your wealth long-term in Bitcoin so nobody can ever mess with it. XRP is the one that makes the most sense in terms of investment, because you got to think about which side is going to win in the battle, the people who already make the rules of everything that we do, or us just kind of going off on our own and just into a full decentralization, like going from being fully centralized to fully decentralized. I don't think that's going to happen. While I think Bitcoin has a massive value in that it is fully decentralized and that no one can really mess with it, and it's going to be a harder money supply over time, I just don't think that it makes logical sense that you're going to make life-changing amounts of money in an investment in it at this rate or at this point in time over a short period of time. I think it's amazing to invest in it for long-term purposes, and you will definitely make money over the long term, in my opinion, like no questions asked. But I'm talking about like best bang for your buck right now that could potentially break out over the next year to 2 years. I would say XRP in that scenario. But again, each of these three have their own really, they have their own use case, and they all have their own perks and downsides. So I'm speaking about XRP. This is the way I think about it personally in this regard. And I'm betting on the fact that it is, working with the banks. So that is something that I think is a benefit to it. Now moving forward, I'm going to speak about the all the downside potential of XRP and why people say it's going to fail. So there's a lot of reasons why people say it's going to fail. This is a good little video recap of why. As you can see, it has a ton of dislikes because the XRP army is strong. So shout out to them. But there are some valid points. Like there's a lot of things that are up in the air that could or could not happen that would sway things in one direction. So retail investor demand. And you guys can just go watch this video. I'm not going to take too much time to go through it, but basically, this says there does not appear to be that many investors that want to hold XRP in their portfolios. Yada yada yada. Fintech utility demand. He's just pointing out the fact that RippleNet is separate from XRP. And founder sales, there's a founder named Jed McCaleb who is gifted 9.5 billion XRP. He left and founded Stellar and is selling off his XRP. And then there's also a big one. There's a lawsuit. There are questions as to whether XRP is a security and hence the subject of the SEC laws on security issuance. So this is a class action lawsuit, and basically the court is alleging that Ripple sold XRP as an unregistered security. They're arguing that it is not a security, I believe. So there are some just fundamental random arguments that people prod. However, obviously, you guys can see in the comments, there's a lot of people that dispute them. So again, not going to talk about a bunch of the reasons why. You guys can do your own research on that stuff, on why it's going to fail. But there's a bunch of people on both sides of the coin here. So there's people on the side that's going to fail, and then there's people on the conspiracy side as well, which is a lot of reason why it has a lot of hype behind it. Sometimes in the XRP community, there's just conspiracy stuff, and then there's also completely founded fundamental basically fundamentals that are behind XRP that make it really seem like it's going to become, one of the top investments, really in our lifetime that we'll probably see. But one of the conspiracies is this like Nasara Jasara thing, basically saying they're gonna put this into act. Trump's gonna forgive all the debt, dissolve the IRS, and create, a whole financial reset. And then what they're gonna do is move to the quantum financial system. So we currently run on a system called Swift, and that is, part of the reason why it takes so long to get payments cross border and like just get payments from one place to another. But this is basically saying we're moving to a quantum financial system that has the conspiracy is that this new financial system has been active simultaneously with the central banking system for more than a year now, and that the cabal, quote unquote, attempted to hack it, blah, 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 blah. Like a lot of this stuff, whether it's true or not, is interesting to listen to and, speculate on, but we're going to have no idea if any of this is true until, much later on down the line. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these, but some of these conspiracies on, what could potentially happen are important to think about, because if they do happen and any of this is true, the price of XRP would skyrocket. So it's good to know and to like have in the back of your mind, because it could potentially happen. Like there's definitely, if you're going to take probability chances, there's definitely a probability. I don't know what the percentage chance is, but this could happen. Similarly, on the negative side that I showed you guys earlier, a lot of probability on that side could happen as well. So we're going to take all that into account when we make our predictions here. So this is what I wanted to kind of lead you guys into next. This is the XRP Rich List. So this is showing you guys how much XRP you would need to hold in order to be in the top 10% all the way through 0.01% of owners of XRP in the entire world. So to be in the top 10% in the entire world, you just need to own 3,120 XRP. To be in the top 1%, you just need 82,000. And to be in the top 0.01%, you're not going to probably have that amount if you're watching my YouTube videos. But that's a lot of XRP. Not to discourage you guys, because hopefully we'll be able to have that in dollar bills at some point. But yeah, basically, I suspect that most of you guys aren't going to be at 0.01%. But nonetheless, I think a lot of us could get into these ranges right here. So with that said, if I just pull up a little calculator action, how much money is it to get in the top 1%? Oh God, where'd it go? There we go. So price is currently 25 cents. So 82,858. Oh gosh. 82,858 times 0.25. Okay, so $20,000 in order to get in the top 1%. That's crazy, guys. Like, it only costs $20,000 to be in the top 1% of holders of XRP in the entire world right now. So if you guys want to get in the top, let's just say 5%, we'll do 10,832. Oh gosh, 10,832 times, it's around 25 cents. It's not exact. Costs you $2,000 to get into the top 5%. That is crazy. So what this means, let's just say you put in a $10,000 investment. So $10,000, however you come up with it, you put in a $10,000 investment, and that gets you 40,000 XRP tokens. So that's going to put you right around the 2% mark. You're in the 2% owners. So let's say you have 40,000 XRP, and the price goes back up to where it went a few years ago. A few years ago, it went on a bull run. It got up to, currently it's 25 or 24 cents, I believe. And a few years ago, it got up to almost $4 because of a rumor that it was going to get on the exchange Coinbase, in which case the price was going to skyrocket because some other coins did that in the past. So it's already gotten up to $4 just on speculation alone. So let's just say it gets back to $4 after the election, some speculation. Obviously, great investment, but let's just say it gets up to $9. Okay, still a great investment. Now here's like where people start saying like, all right, let's like hypothetically, could it hit $20? All right, you'd almost be at $1 million if you just put in a $10,000 investment. And then like these are starting to get into the numbers of like the absolute, it's taking off, it's being mass adopted, and central banks, everyone's using it for their payments, yada yada yada. Okay, like $6 million, and then like this is like total moonshot. Let's just say like $580. Okay, so like as you guys can see, like those numbers, like who knows if those things are going to happen. I personally think they're possible, especially watching the charts and seeing what it's done in the past. However, what I'm trying to get across showing you guys is a $10,000 investment into anything you do, whether it's real estate, stocks, like there is no other investment out there that could potentially, with any probability, reach that level of price, like, or really of growth overall. So like if you think about investing in Amazon when it was, $2, $3, $4, whatever it was at the very bottom, that's similar to what you would be seeing now, but honestly on even less of a scale. Like there's no stock that's out there that would have the potential that this could have if it's mass adopted. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is because the market cap of cryptocurrency is so small and it's a brand new asset class. There's just too many things that have lined up in this order to make this happen. So for example, brand new asset class almost never happens. The political climate in not only the US, but the world right now, the failing of the US dollar, the amount of debt that we're in, the conspiracies on both sides of the coin, the amount of craziness that's going on with politics and presidents and foreign affairs and China, and there's just so many things that are like adding up to make the potential for this so massive. So in my opinion, if you're weighing out the opportunity in your head, you're like, okay, like, I could take $10,000, $5,000 and diversify it into my Roth IRA to make, a good investment long-term. It just in my head doesn't make sense to do that when you have an opportunity like this on the table that's not going to be like, this is a once in a really long time opportunity. And like I said, the reason for that is all those reasons that I just listed, plus a lot more. So there's so many different reasons why this is a like very rare time in history. But then, yeah, I wanted to pull this picture up. This is good. Like you don't have to be a trader to get into this stuff. You don't have to know how to read charts and do all that. If you just go based on even the stuff that I was talking about, the fundamentals of where the world's heading, what your viewpoint is on the world, on politics, on foreign affairs, on government. Like if you just look at where the world's headed and it's headed in the direction of digitization, you see the people talking about the digital dollar and digital wallets, and then you understand that there's actual utility in a few of these cryptocurrencies, and you see that there's a team behind it and they have a ton of partnerships, and you just look at the literally the writings on the wall for you. Like you can see all these things. You don't have to know how to trade and be, some miraculous day trader. You can just be a long-term passive investor like myself in order to see what plays out with this. Because here's the reality. Let's say you put in $10,000, maybe nothing happens, or maybe you lose all $10,000. In my opinion, I would rather take a $10,000 loss for the opportunity to have made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on an opportunity. Because $10,000, like you're going to be able to make that back. It's not going to be life-changing for you to lose $10,000. However, it is going to be life-changing for you to make a ridiculous amount of money. And so I'm not saying it's 100% going to happen because no one can predict 100%, but the opportunity at this specific time in history and the chance, the percentage chance, even if it's 10% chance, it's still such a worth it investment. That's like saying, you know, people go to casinos and they'll throw hundreds of dollars or $1,000 all on, you know, one specific, let's say they play roulette and they throw it all on black or something like that. You know, your chance of losing is like massive. Like your chance of losing all of the money that you put down is like 50% or whatever. So, or 51%, whatever it is. In this case scenario, your chance of winning quadruple, like, you know, thousands of percentages over the money that you bet is actually still probable. It's like 10, 20, maybe 30%, whatever you guys want to put it at. I put it a lot higher than that, but again, I'm trying to be conservative for you guys who are new to this. I personally believe in it strongly. That's why I'm making the video. However, I understand that a lot of you guys are new to this, so definitely want to kind of like make sure you guys understand, you know, the opportunity here and the risk to reward ratio, because the risk way does not live up to the reward side. So if you guys just can understand that much, you can just buy and hold. You don't have to try to time the market. You don't have to do anything crazy. We're at a low point right now. I don't think it will stay at, you know, 24 cents or go any that much lower. I wouldn't try to time it. I would just get as much as you can, and I would hold for a couple years and just see what happens. You know, like the question, what do you have to lose? What you have to lose is $10,000. But if you don't do it, what you have to lose is the potential opportunity that you missed out on, you know, like life-changing amounts of wealth. So that's my opinion. And the last thing I will show you guys, I have all these pictures pulled up. Yeah, the last thing I'll show you guys is this, because we are going to the moon, whether you guys like it or not. Here's all the different phases for you guys. Here's a nice bright picture. Here's this one. And look at all these different pictures that we can go to. This is where we're going to be once XRP is finally getting adopted and people see it for what it is. So hopefully this video has helped explain the fundamentals and just the positioning overall of what's going on. Buy, hold, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, like, comment down below if you guys have any questions. And yeah, I'm excited to officially be part of the old XRP army. I've been invested since back in really like early 2017, and I've been watching it for a while now. So decided I would make a video and join in on the fun of speculating on this, because it is a awesome opportunity. And yeah, I will probably be making some more videos like this in the future. So make sure you guys are subscribed, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.